Today I'm going to show you how to swap over the blind spot monitoring sensor from the OEM unit to the aftermarket taillights. These two taillights are from 2018 and up Jeep Wrangler JL. This one is the OEM unit. This one is the Windjet, is the aftermarket one. As you can tell, there's one plug on the OEM unit, but there are two plugs on the aftermarket one. So actually this one is for the blind spot monitoring sensor, which we'll swap over right now. And there are 3 bolts for the top cover and 2 bolts on at the bottom. So let's start it. Okay, there are 3 bolts. One's right here, second one, and the third one. After you remove all the screws, just lift up this cover, and it comes right off. Now we can see there are 2 bolts right here holding this bracket. Now we're gonna remove these 2 screws. Okay, after removing all the 2 screws, we can lift up this panel. Now you can see there's a sensor right here. This is a blind spot monitor sensor. We're gonna swap this one to the aftermarket taillights. And to do that, we'll just lift up the bracket. You can see there's a connector, and we can just we can remove the sensor first, and the sensor is holding by the 4 tabs. So basically just pry the tabs to the side, and you can release the tension. Just be careful because they're all plastic. Now the sensor is out of the bracket. We can unplug this connector. The right connector, you're going to pry it out and unplug it like this. Now the OEM unit we can put on side. Right here is the Windjet, the LED version taillights. If you want to upgrade your taillights, it's a good option. So there are 2 connectors. One is for the sensor, and in the kit there's a bracket just like the OEM one, but a little bit different. So we're gonna put this one, the sensor, into the bracket like this. It's pretty snug, and plug the connectors into the sensor and lock the right tab. And now we can start to remove all the covers, just like what we just did to the OEM housing. So there are 3 screws actually. There are 2, and one is right here. And we can lift up this cover, put it on the side. Now you can see there are 2 screws. Let's remove those. After remove the cover, you can see there's a resistor here. The reason for the resistor is for the hyperflush module to fix the hyperflush basically. And if your car doesn't have a LED taillights from the factory, you don't need to do the whole process. You can just bolt the whole unit as you bolt it. Just plug them back into the car. It'll work. Process is only for your car has a LED taillights and also has a blind spot monitor sensor, which is right here. Okay, let's remove this resistor. Okay, now we release the connectors. So for this application, we don't need this part. It's a resistor. And now we can put this part, which is the sensor, into the slot right here, and put a cover back in. Two screws. And the top cover. Put the 3 screws back in. And this plug goes back into your chassis harness for the taillights. And now we're finished. Thank you for watching, and